What's going on, coaches? It's Coach Career. This is going to be the third part to the Pro Series. This is where the offense gets interesting to me, in my opinion, and this is the number one play in the offense. The years I was in the eye, this was the play I probably called every first game for a good 3 or 4 years. It's the play that I believe in the eye that you got to make go, and it has to be the center of your attack, because we believe in any system I'm in that the game is won and lost in the middle of the field. We're going to force the defense to adjust to how we attack the edge. And I haven't gotten the edge blocking with this Pro Series because that's more of a wing T way of thinking and what we're doing in the hybrid wing. But I'm going to start really getting into detail about what the edges are and how we're going to take care of those edges when the ball goes there. We have a whole philosophy behind that. The defense of alignment is always going to tell us how to take what we want. That's per game plan, week to week, the front's given, and sticking to our core rules. We believe in ways, not plays. We're always going to have a couple different versions of running our core play. With ice blocking alone, we have 2 different styles of way we could attack this. A blast type style where we're going to have the fullback lead on that play side linebacker, or we have a wrap version of it. But to keep this the time, minimal, we're only going to talk about the ice isolation way of doing it. Later on, when we're done with the core install, I'll start showing different ways of running all these plays, just so you have an idea of how multiple it could be. So let's get right into the play. Our base rules on the ice play is we're always going to ace the nose away from where we're isoing. So the nose guard, this nose guard double team, what we would call an ace double team, if this is 22 ISO, in the odd structure, we need to carry it vertically. We're running to the 2-hole. That's the first linebacker away from the play. So we're always going to double in any scenario. The double team is going to work away from where the ball is going. Fullback will lead on the play side linebacker. So that's the first part of the rule. The guys not involved in the double team will always base block the man over them anywhere. That goes on the front side and the back side. Why? Because we want to always be able to bounce that ball backside. So those are the core rules for the line. Ace the nose away. We're always going to isolate the backer to the play side. If you're not involved in the double team, you're man blocking. Very simple. The running backs rules is we're always going to aim for the guard to where the play is called. That is going to allow us to get in the alley of where the edge is being created from the double team and give them the ability to split the stovepipe. So in this situation right here, I'm going to start putting these plays up against the 3 most common U fronts that I believe most of us see, unless you're at the higher levels like I was for most years, where we stopped seeing this, and this, and it was more 3-4, 4-3 type defenses, even a lot of 4-2-5. But for the average youth coach, these are the fronts you're going to see. So in the true 5-3 stack look, we're going to start with always the Z and X. Our base rule is always push and crack the target. In this scenario, he would be the target. This is the target on the backside, so he'll try to get himself in a situation where he could cut something off on the backside. Start with the Y. He has a man on him. He's going to base him out, getting his head inside, taking a gap step with his inside foot. This gap step has to be square, and he has to lock on to this guy's right down the middle of his chest plate and keep his head in here somewhere so we can start moving him out and creating the outside half of this scene. Same thing with the tackle. He's not involved in the double team. He has somebody directly over him. He has to take an inside gap step and block him out. Our center has somebody in his inside gap. Play is 22. He knows he's the power block. This guy right here is the power block. He is going to take an inside gap step and get his inside hand to the outside number of this nose tackle. The center's going to post him up. We're going to work him away from the guard, straight to the mic. Key point on this play is this: let this double team bring you to that mic. Do not abort it until you get to the area where that ball has a chance to do whatever it wants to do. our left guard is going to, it's more of a read step where he's going to step with his inside foot. Make sure this nose not spiking across and then read up to this backside linebacker because he has nobody on him. That's the nearest guy on or over him. That's his responsibility. But he doesn't have to get there right now. This is more of a read step with the play side foot. Make sure there's no spikage from this nose. Come and take this backside linebacker. Tackle over the left tackle. He's on him. He's going to base him out. Inside foot, gap step. Turn him out. This end here is no threat to us. Where you could either boot him backside, you could drop him straight back, or roll the quarterback out. Running back's aiming point will be the guard. So this is how this is going to look. On the base ice play, this gentleman here is the target that we're going to block on the play side. Running back is going to step left foot first, left arm up, and he's going to hug the block of that guard. Now, if everything goes as planned, he should be able to press this gap and split the stovepipe right up the field. Or if everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing, we should have the ability to bend this ball back here. That's why backside blocking is so important. We should be able to have the ability to always bend it back. We don't need to worry about bouncing this play, even though I like my chances on this running back with this corner unblocked. If this running back can't beat this guy unblocked, he shouldn't be your running back. Point blank, period. We're always more than likely going to leave this guy unblocked and take care of everything inside of him. Moving over to the even front, the same deal. We're going to push and crack the targets. Now, in the 4-4, we could look at this outside linebacker here as a strong safety type and have that Z crack on him and leave this guy unblocked because I believe he's a more dangerous player. So he's always going to push and crack the target. This X is always going to push and crack the target. We got everything on this side taken care of. These two gentlemen here are unblocked. The Y is going to inside gap step, get his head inside, and blow this guy off the ball. We do not want him any inside penetration because this ball is going inside. So we're going to try to get our head inside, get our shoulders square, and drive him off the football vertically. We're going to have a deuce double team here with the tackle and guard. It's going to be an inside gap step with this tackle, getting his inside hand on it right down the middle of his sternum and try to get butt to butt with this guard so we can move this thing vertical, keeping our eyes inside here. Once we get this thing moving and this guy shows, somebody will abort and take care of this. Backside center, because we got a one technique here and it's away from the play call, just like the base rule, he's going to double team. We're going to, basically this is an ace back. We could call this ace back to this backside backer. Working this thing vertically, keeping our eyes here. Same thing. Inside gap step here, get butt to butt with the center. Let's drive this thing vertically, keeping our eyes right here. Backside left tackle has somebody over him. He bases him out, cuts this off. Fullback is always going to isolate the backer to the play side, cramming this A-gap or the aiming point being this guard. So here we go. He should be here. Ball carrier should be right through him. Trying to split this stovepipe with the ability to bend this thing back or even get it outside. This guy, once again, should be able to beat these guys one-on-one all day. So, like I said, we're always going to block the targets with our receivers and try to leave those corners unblocked if possible. In the 6-2, just stick to the core rules. He's the most dangerous threat here. We're going to have the Z push crack the safety. He's going to push crack, probably cut off this backside corner. Y has a man over him, base him out. Gap step, get his head inside, wheel him out. Left tackle, same thing. Gap step with the inside foot, wheel him out. This guard is going to post this guy up. In this situation here, we're going to make what we call an even call with the center. And you'll see this do this. You can see this do this quite often if you watch my YouTube videos with my Danbury team. We'll have the center step play side on an even block, and we're going to try to work this two technique straight up the field here. Or actually, we could try to ace him back. The problem with acing him back here is this backer is in an advantageous position because he's not really on our track. So when we ace this vertically, this is something we call ricochet. We make a Rico call where he's going to try to get some movement here vertically, but he's going to ricochet. So he's basically going to punch and try to ride the two technique, but he's going to ace back once this guy shows. So we're going to try to get some movement and then ace back. And we should be able to seal this edge right here to give our H, whose base rule is always linebacker to the play side, the proper position on this front side linebacker. Backside guard has a two technique over him. He's going to base him out, stepping with an inside gap step, working his head to the inside, turning him out. Same thing with the tackle. Now, you heard me mention gap step a lot in these three diagrams because we are a gap blocking team. The whole reason of me putting this up was to put the emphasis on gap blocking because I don't feel enough people still teach gap blocking because everything is so zone crazy. We are a gap blocking team. And the reason we put this in third is because we want everything to look like toss. And you got to remember, these quarterbacks is reverse pivoting on everything. So it looks like toss. But the basis of the attack, if you could tell, now that we're on the third play, is in the A-gaps until we get to the next phase, which from here we're going to get into power and counter is where I've really earned my money as a coach because that is a huge part of our game. But here is the beginning. Well, it started with the last play with 32 trap of the true gap blocking and true gap blocking rules of protecting with our inside gap and really trying to down block, get double teams, and base block people. An old man once told me at the beginning of my coaching career, if you could do these three things offensively, you can have a good offensive team. If you could drive block, down block, and double team, that's enough to score 3 or 4 touchdowns. And this is the part of the install where we're really going to reinforce the details of the gap blocking and footwork and how important that all plays in. We're usually getting a block from a variety of people. Now, another part of our rules, but we haven't got there, that we'll get into is we always kick or trap the first man past the point of attack. That's the base rule. So you get the formation call. You get who's getting the ball. That last number is always telling you where the power block's coming from and who's the man that's going to get kicked, trapped, isolated, or whatever. So it all ties into each other. I write 22 ISO. It's telling you a bunch of things. It's telling you who's getting the ball. It's telling you where the power block and where the aiming point is coming from. And who the master play calls, what the whole play call is doing on who's getting kicked out. So I write 22 ISO, part 3, Pro Install Series.